Hello everyone, welcome to Piccadilly Stampin'. I'm Pamela Pick. So if you are new to my channel, please be sure to click that little bell so that you subscribe and you don't miss out on any of my tutorials. Like, comment, share, let me know what you think of this project. And remember, if you sign up for my emails, you will get all of the measurements, the supply list, this video that you're watching now, and photos, dimensions in one email. So be sure to sign up, and you can do that at www.piccadillystampin.blogspot.com. Okay, so let's get started. I have a quick little card, and here's my inspiration. This card, I like to use sketches. So people have asked me before, where do you get your ideas and inspiration? So I use sketches, and sometimes I will modify the sketches. So this is Freshly Made Sketches 602 is where I got it. And I went ahead and added in the sizes that I use for this normally. But of course, today I decided to add an extra mat to mine and change it up a little bit. So let me get started and showing you what I have done and what I'm going to be using. So I am going to be using a bit of our bling paper. Off the top of my head, I cannot think of the name of this, but I think it's tricolor bling paper. Oh, I do not know, but it's the one with Highland Heather, Pretty Peacock, and then I believe the Petal Pink. And so it just has the 3 in there. You're going to find that on the online exclusives, I believe. The stamp set that I chose, well, I chose 2. It's the new Caring Leaves. So you're going to find that in our mini catalog. It is on page 59, Caring Leaves. It is this simple little set, which is great for simple stamping. $17 in there. But because I wanted a birthday card, because I have a lot of people who have fall birthdays, so I need all kinds of birthday cards during the fall months. So this did not give me a birthday. So I have paired this with the Simply Said stamp set. Now this is in our annual catalog, and I'm going to use the Let's Celebrate and the Happy Birthday in just kind of a type text, which I think is awesome. I'm also going to pair it with the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. And let me show you. I moved it all the way over to the left-hand side and up to the top so that I got as many of these leaves, there we go, in on the embossing area that I wanted to have embossed. So we're going to pull this out, and then I'll just show you really quick. There are a couple of bald spots. That's okay. It didn't need full coverage, but I wanted to have as much as possible. So this is, again, the Leaf Fall 3D embossing folder. And then I used the Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper. And I actually used this, but instead of using the pretty side with the scenery, I wanted it for the color. So I chose the back side of this DSP. So let's pull this out too, and let me grab this original piece because we're going to use this for the measurements, and put this out. So let's start by cutting this DSP down, and according to what I have here, this is going to be 2.5 for this little blue stripe. That's what I'm going to use as the DSP, by 7/8. So we're just going to cut this whole thing at 7/8. And then I'm going to cut a piece at 2.5. And that's going to be for the front of our card. Now I'm going to save this piece because I like to do the insides with them. Insides of the card. Okay, the rest of these I have cut, I believe. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Let's pull these out. But I want to have this kind of close by. I'm hoping that this is picking it up on the camera so you can see how I'm following this. Okay, let's start with our card base. We'll fold that in half. I do have the Stampin' Pierce mat out because both sets are photopolymer and it gets a better image. So we're going to start here and we're just going to add our leaf image, and I want to determine which way I want this. I think I'm going to go this direction actually. So using some green glue, I always put a little bit more when I am doing embossed images so that I know that it's going to adhere really well to the card base. Okay. This, by the way, is our Blackberry Bliss. Isn't it gorgeous? Love it. Okay. So I'm going to throw this aside for now, and then I'm going to bring in, this is my inside. I kept mine to 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And so I'm going to take, it looks like I cut my paper wrong already. I did, so we'll cut another one, but I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down onto this one, and then we'll cut another one. And what I'll do is just use the paper snips to trim these off. Okay. So since I cut this the wrong size, I believe I did, maybe not. Let me see. I did not. Look at that. We'll go ahead and apply this also. I thought I had, but I must have got my pieces of paper mixed up. Okay, so this one goes on Fresh Freesia. So this is for the inside, so I did have to trim a little off of there. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down on the inside. Trying to center that a bit. We'll let this dry, we'll come back to it. So this is the inside, this is now the outside of our card. You can see with the DSP. And then I have this image. So what I want to do is I want to get Fresh Freesia for Fresh Freesia, and then I'm going to pull out a little Blackberry Bliss for the outline. So this is a 2-set stamping stamp set. Let me grab the my very well loved Blackberry Bliss. This is really a pretty color. So I wouldn't say purple is my first favorite color, but ever since Fresh Freesia came into my life, I've been kind of liking purple more than I ever have. I tend to gravitate to the red purples versus the blue purple, like Gorgeous Grape is more of that blue purple, although I think all of our purples. But when Petunia Pop came in, I think this is gorgeous. It makes a good combination with these colors here. So I'm going to stamp this kind of in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and stand. I was going to turn it, but I want to make sure I get this where I want it. So I'm going to stamp this in the center of here and here. I'm not pressing down, I'm just giving a good press to make sure all of that ink goes over. And then I'm going to take I know I'll stick my hand into that if I didn't shut it. The Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to do color on color. Now, my Fresh Freesia is a little dry, but with these stamps, you do not want to have it oversaturated because it'll fill in these holes, and this is supposed to look like a watercoloring. So if I have to, I'll just stamp it twice. And I don't care if it's not perfectly lined up or not, because this is a handmade card, and I kind of like some of that. That's just my personal preference. Yeah, see, that's too light for me, so I'm just going to go over it again. And you're probably going to say, hey, it's not going to line up. That's okay. There we go. Much better. I like it. For those of you who are perfectionists, that might be a problem for you. That's okay. So we'll put the Fresh Freesia away. But let's do a little stamping. Now that that inside has had an opportunity to dry, I want to come back in. Let's see, this is the happy birthday. So we're going to stamp the happy birthday. Let me make sure I've got that ink on there. And I like to use a block bigger than the stamp so I can look through the block and see where I'm stamping at. So if you've ever noticed that before, okay, happy birthday's on the inside. I have just a scrap. This is a 1/2 inch by, I don't know, I'm going to cut it down anyway. And I'm going to do Let's Celebrate. Give that ink a chance to transfer. There we go. While that's drying, I'm going to bring in, so here is this piece. This was the 2.5 by 3 5/8. Again, don't worry about the measurements because I have them in the email that I send out, okay? And I have the 4 1/4 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. So that would go like this, correct? Yeah. I decided I wanted a matte. I wanted to bring something more than the purple. So this is a piece of the glimmer paper. This is the Pretty Peacock. And I cut this at 2 5/8 by 3 3/4 so that I would just get a little shimmer around the edge. So when I'm doing these, I tend to adhere it with the green glue. I think it holds the best and the longest. It gets down into the little glitter, which the best thing about our glimmer paper, look at this. No shimmers come off, so you don't have this in your hair and up your nose for 6 weeks straight. So here we go. I'm going to put down, and I don't know if you notice, I kind of put a thin bead about 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to fill this in pretty heavily with some liquid glue. And I'm going to take a moment. So I like a 1/8 inch border. If you prefer a 1/4 inch, if that's, you know, adjust it. This is just kind of my creation. So it just has enough green to complement that purple. Okay, so here's where I'm going to change it up. I'm going to turn mine to a landscape from the portrait view. And I'm hoping this has been showing this whole time. This has been in the portrait view, but I'm going to turn mine to the landscape, and I'm going to go down here into the bottom right. It's just my preference, and that's kind of where I do, but I am going to glue this flat again. I tend to glue images flat and sentiments higher simply because of going through the mail. I think that you're able to fly things on a stamp if you have one little area popped up versus the whole thing. So I'm going to come down in this corner and kind of leave an equal border on here and glue this down. Okay. And then I'm going to take the sentiment that they have here, and that's 3/8 inch by 3 1/4. And I'm not doing that. I always do something different, you know, myself. And it's just, this was just the basis of the design, but I'm going to change it up, and it looks like 2 3/4 inch is where mine is going to be. And let me make sure I've got those edges. So maybe just a hair shy. Okay. I love that this will trim. So, I mean, look at how feather thin that is. On our paper trimmer. Okay, and then I'm going to take, let's see here. I have one. This has got a little bit of edging on it, and I want to take this and do a little bit shy on the edging here. And I want to put this on the upper edge because I'm going to have this go over the top. So the bottom edge will, you know, I've got this excess of cardstock here. And let's put that right up like so. So then for a little decorative piece, these are adhesive back pearl trios, and you would think I would go for the more purpley pink with this, but I'm not. I'm going to go for the green. It's personal preference. You can choose whatever you want for your embellishments, but I wanted to pull some of the green out in here. So let's see. I think maybe I'll go like this and like this. And like this, just keeping it all concentrated in the, around that beautiful leaf. And I don't know if you can see the shimmer on that or not, but it's such an easy card. So pretty. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it gives you another idea of some simpler stamping. I did use an embossing folder, but it's pretty much, you wouldn't have to do the embossing folder, and the card would still be just as good with just stamps, ink, and paper. If you would like to get the measurements for this card, sign up. Go to www.piccadilly Piccadilly, Stampin without a G, .blogspot.com, and I send these out twice a week usually, unless I'm sick or on vacation. Be sure to subscribe so that you can get more tutorials from me and inspiration. We have a cute paper pumpkin that is coming out. You can sign up now. I have some links that I will put in the description so that you can sign up for it if you're interested. This next kit that's coming out in November has these cute little fabric stockings. I know it comes with tags. It's kind of a teaser of what's coming. I do know that they're using this color combo, which I love, that retro kind of look. I think these would be great little things to have for office mates, grandchildren, anybody you want to give a little present to. They can be filled up with some cute stuff. And right now, all of our actual kits are on sale. And we do have kits with Christmas cards. So if you're interested in making your own Christmas cards, you can get Christmas tags. I think we have an advent calendar. I'm not sure what all is in there left, but some of them are up to 30% off. It's a great time to try your hand at stamping if you haven't before. Again, this is Pamela from Piccadilly Stampin'. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I will be back here this Wednesday night, 7 p.m. on my Piccadilly Stampin' Facebook page for a Facebook Live demonstration. Hope to see you then, friends. Bye-bye.